afternoon and welcome to Richmond Rugby Football Club. Today we have got Thurrock T-Birds away, obviously, to Richmond. It's quite a mild day today, but perfect weather for rugby. It's not too cold, not too warm, and nice amount of rain yesterday has made the pitch lovely and soft. So I'm also doubling up as a weather girl today, apparently. So today for the away side, got to stick by the Thurrock side. We've got Lauren Paul, Kaylee McHugh, Alex Zudnik or Polish, Annalise Kostek or Frenchy, Jess Grace, Amy Patel, Maddie Lockwood, Mikey Williams, Faye Cox, Sophie Scanlon, Abby Jones, Charlotte Tweedle, Kira Ryan, Hannah Thornhill, who is captain, Jess Pettifor, Megan Harris, Holly Edgway, Kirsty Flynn, Elsie Burns, Jade Wong, Izzy Lush and Emma West. Now for the home side, apologies if I do mess up any of these names. We've got Joe Bucknell, Kieran Berry, Caris Graham, Imo Duffy, Sian Hobday, Becky DeGarson-Webb, who is captain today, Caitlin Keefe, Gabby Spencer, who is vice-captain, Maria Nogles, Tess Braunerova, Holly Williamson, B. Leonard, Angela Randazzo, Rebecca Smart, Courtney Treco, Claudia Yu, Jess Dale, Eleanor Hunt Payne, Chloe Lang, Bluebell Nichols, Vicky Jackson and Emma Mundy. So by the looks of it, Thurrock will be kicking us off today. And this kick will be taken by Kira Ryan. I believe this is her debut today. So congratulations to Kira, we'd love to see it. Seems to be a problem, not too sure what for. Oh, linesman. Yes, I believe that is Emma or Westy running over to the other side of the pitch to get the linesman on the far side. The complete and utter joy of being a linesman during the game is not that fun. So the ball is kicked by Thurrock and is just knocked forward by Richmond, unfortunately. I believe her boot has come off as well. Thurrock gather up the ball with Amy running into a very high tackle by Richmond round her throat. The ball is played out to Jess Grace. Faye Cox takes the ball out to Sophie Scanlon, who does a lovely little grubber kick through to Richmond. She runs sideways down the pitch and is taken into contact by Frenchy. Ball is thrown out by Richmond as it's been turned over. Passed out wide once again. Slightly forward pass, and the referee has seen it and has awarded Thurrock the penalty. Apologies if you hear the banging, that would be the Thurrock coaches being a little less mindful. Yep, hi. And I do also apologise if I get any of the names wrong for Richmond. The yellow with the white numbers is really throwing off my eyesight. And it is not good to begin with anyways. So we are setting up for the first scrum of the game. This will be a Thurrock ball being put in by Faye Cox. Oh, and unfortunately it looks like the scrum has collapsed before the ball has even been put in. Obviously that is not looking like a good setup for the rest of the game, so let's hope that does improve. Looks as though the issue was on the far side, so the referee has stepped to the other side to see if there is an issue. Sorry, we've just noticed that we hadn't started our timer. So we will be a couple of minutes out, but no doubt there will be some stoppage anyway of the time, so I'm sure we'll catch up. Very strong scrum from Richmond. Thurrock really struggling to keep them at bay, but they managed to do so. Ball goes out to Kira Ryan, then out to Charlotte Tweedle. Lovely tackle from number 9, Maria Nogles. This time Lauren Paul taking it into contact. The referee just steps out of the way, taken to Polish, then to Amy Patel, who had a fantastic game last week. This time back out to Sophie once again, who passes out to Maddie Lockwood, who drives through the tackle by Becky DeGarson-Webb. Ball goes out once again to Sophie Scanlon. Beautiful kick downfield. Gathered this time, I believe that is number 15, Courtney Treco. He's just about to evade a tackle, but manages to just be caught short by Abby Jones. The referee has seen a penalty for not rolling away by Thurrock. Richmond prepared to take the kick. This time it is Courtney Treco taking the kick. Lovely kick, just behind the 10-metre line of Thurrock.
There's 2 balls on the pitch.
So this will be the first line out of the game. It is a Richmond line out. Although there appears to be 2 balls on the pitch at the moment. So we're just getting rid of them.
One at least.
Lovely throw by Richmond. Not quite straight, but the referee doesn't seem to have minded too much. This time it is Gabby running in. Unfortunately, the ball has been lost to Thurrock. This was picked up by number 4, which is Annalise Kosterg. Jess Grace passes it out to Lauren Paul, who takes it into contact. The ball goes out to the backs, then back to Amy Patel, who wrestles her way through the contact. Passing it out to Sophie once again, a very long pass to Charlotte Tweedle, who evades the tackle by Richmond. It's eventually brought to ground. I believe that was Caitlin Keefe. Ball goes to Maddie Lockwood. Stopped short by, I believe that was Kieran Berry. Pass just too far back to Jess Grace, but is dived on by Thurrock. The referee has seen it as a knock-on though and has awarded Richmond with the penalty.
Get the message to Hannah and pass it in.
So we will be setting up for the second scrum of the game. Hopefully it will have a little bit more of a sturdy foundation than the first one. And no doubt we'll see that Richmond will continue to drive the same way they did previously. So let's see if Thurrock changes tactics, as this will be a Richmond ball. Maria Nogles feeds it in. Faye Cox is on the watch, but Thurrock does well to hold their ground, and the ball just goes to the feet of Richmond, this time taken in by Angela Randazzo. Once again, another bit of a fumble of the ball, but the referee seems to think it went backwards, but nevertheless, Thurrock turns it over. I believe that was Sophie Scanlon has managed to do that. There's a very high tackle that the referee has seen on Maddie Lockwood. The referee is not happy with that whatsoever. And hopefully he will be keeping an eye on that, as that is the second one of the game so far, and we are only less than 10 minutes in. Kick by Sophie Scanlon. The wind just seems to bring it short, but it goes out precisely on the halfway line, and an attempted punch of the ball by Richmond. Would have been quite good if she'd pulled that off, but that was unfortunate. Mikey Williams will be throwing the Thurrock ball in for the line out. Though I think Mikey was being generous to Richmond and was starting on the halfway line, so she's gone to her correct post now. The ball goes straight to the hands of Frenchie. This time Faye Cox manages to scramble to keep it in, although that is an awkward way to have landed. This time Amy Patel running into contact. And this time it was number 3, Caris Graham, that has managed to get Thurrock into the touchline. This time only a few metres from the previous one will be another line out, this time with Kieran Berry throwing in. I can't quite tell if the referee has just switched the time off. I don't think he has. This time Richmond's giving Thurrock the advantage by being too far on their own side. Throw wasn't quite straight, but as Thurrock didn't put up, Richmond takes the ball and runs it straight into contact. A lovely run by, I believe that is Gabby Spencer once again. Lovely pass from number 9 Maria Nogles out to the backs, although it just seems to miss its mark, and they managed to stop it being a knock-on. Oh, apparently the referee disagrees with me, and he does take it as a knock-on by Richmond.
Just a touch. Some good eyesight, the ref. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
I think even though it's been less than 10 minutes, this is clearly going to be a very tense head-to-head game between Richmond and Thurrock, as it quite often usually is. Richmond have had a very successful season for the last 3 games with very big wins, and Thurrock had an excellent win last week, playing much like they are today, although Richmond's scrums seem to have really taken up the front foot. Although Faye Cox manages to get it out to Sophie, but the referee sees it as a knock-on, and Richmond are very happy to hear that. I believe Thurrock will be preparing for a similar game to their one last Sunday, which was mainly a forwards-dominated game with a number of scrums, and it's looking like this game will be shaping up the same. Although Thurrock have found their drive for this scrum, have managed to keep Richmond at bay, although Richmond has excellent hands, finds a gap, run through and absolutely exploit it, although they managed to regather it. That was number 11 Holly Williamson to number 14 Rebecca Smart. Beautiful bit of play there. Sorry, I did miss that, I will admit. Lovely feet from number 2 Kieran Berry. Once again they find another gap, she runs straight through it, although Faye Cox, with the help of, I believe that was number 15 Jess Pettifor, brings her to ground, although they once again see they've got an overlap of about 4 people on the outside. And, I believe Thurrock have just managed to get in the way of that pass. And although that was once again round the neck by Richmond, the referee has seen a different... No, he's seen it for Richmond, not for us. We got high tackled. No, he's blown up for... Sorry, I'm arguing with my co-commentator here.
Apologies. I thought it was a high tackle by Richmond on Thurrock. I missed the one on Thurrock on Richmond.
No, I thought it was on Thurrock as well, so I'm a little bit confused by that call. See if I can watch that back. Well, we unfortunately seem to be having an injury for Amy Battelle, which will be a shame if she does have to come off. As I said earlier, she had a fantastic game last week and appears to be continuing very much the same this week. Yes, I don't seem to have seen the high tackle by Thurrock on Richmond there. It was in fact a high tackle on Abby Jones as she managed to gather the ball. And yes, it was a high tackle on Thurrock, so I'm not quite sure where the penalty is going at the moment. So I guess we will see.
That's a scrum. Should be a scrum.
And we are back playing. Sorry, the cameraman seems to have not been paying attention.
Too much notice of the kit.
So Richmond are once again driving for the try line, just brought short by Thurrock, although they're gathering again with Caitlin Keefe running back into contact. Although the referee's in the way, and the pass is just brought short to the feet of B. Leonard. Although once again seeing the overlap, they pass it out wide to winger number 11 Holly Williamson, who scores the first try of the game. An excellent sight seen by Richmond. They've managed to pick apart the Thurrock defence, finding the gaps, running round, running through as an excellent try. Unfortunately, it will be on the far side, although it seems Richmond have forgotten they have to take the kick now, as number 15, Courtney Treco, is running back to the site of the try. This will be a fairly awkward angle for a kick, as it is from the right side, although the wind does not seem to be having too much of an issue. Looking at the time on the scoreboard, we are about 1 minute and 45 seconds off. Very quick kick by Richmond, unfortunately was just short and to the left, so the score does stay at 5-0 to Richmond. Kira Ryan once again lines up for the drop kick. Another lovely kick goes straight to the hands of Richmond. And a beautiful run through into the contact. Although Thurrock seemed to be dragging her further over the line in an attempt to take the ball, and the referee has seen the penalty and has allowed for it. Although I'm not quite sure what the movement for that was. This appears to be kicking the ball in the ruck. Personally never seen that before, but a lovely kick from Sophie Scanlon nonetheless. Doesn't quite find touch, goes into the Richmond hands once again. Sophie Scanlon taking down the Richmond player. Unfortunately, sorry, I cannot see your number. That was a lovely run through. Thurrock seem to have found their stride in a double tackle by Kaylee McHugh and Amy Battelle. Richmond line up for a kick downfield. It's a lovely, unfortunately just evades the hands of Jess Pettiford, but she clears it up nicely with a lovely tackle, and I believe that was Angela Randazzo. Richmond looking for the gap once again, which is Rebecca Smart.
Well done, Smarty. Superb, mate.
Richmond finding a very fast-paced game. Another line break by Caitlin Keefe.
Oh, good decision, Sean.
This is passed by Sean to number 4, Imo Duffy. Richmond absolutely tearing up the ground up towards the Thurrock try line. A beautiful dummy from Richmond once again. And that is Gabby Spencer, who marks the second try over the game. Fantastic footwork, lovely dummy, and a well-deserved try for Richmond, only a few minutes after the first one. So that brings the score up to 10-0 to Richmond. I'm sure Richmond are very ecstatic with only the first 15 minutes to have scored twice. However, I will blame it on the the travel for Thurrock, who are probably all half asleep, and they will take their time waking up. Beautiful kick straight through the sticks for Richmond, which brings the game to 12-0 to Richmond. Thurrock sound raring to go, being spurred on by Captain Hannah Thornhill. Kira Ryan once again lining up for the kick. Almost called her Kira Knightley for some reason then. Don't know what's going on with my brain today. I do apologise. This time Thurrock are wary of not committing a high tackle. I believe that was Joe Bucknell running into contact. Beautiful pass backwards for a lovely kick downfield into the Thurrock half, just evading the hands of Jess Pettiford, but she does well to clear it up, run straight back into contact, evading the tackle by number 14, Rebecca Smart. But a lovely tackle nevertheless by B. Leonard. Passed out by Faye Cox to Kaylee McHugh, who drives into contact, but Richmond are not releasing and then are not rolling away from the tackle either. This time Amy Patel manages to just keep her hands on the ball. Not a very clear release by number 12, B. Leonard. This time Mikey Williams fighting through the tackle. Well, she manages to find the ground after a very, very well held up. This time, Gabby Spencer absolutely driving back Thurrock, an excellent tackle. This time, Jess Grace running into contact, diving over them. This time, Kaylee McHugh fighting through the defence of Richmond. Faye takes it out to Polish. He runs into the contact of Angela Randazzo. This time the ball to Frenchie.
Good tackle, Imo.
Lovely tackle by Imo Duffy. Back to Sophie Scanlon to the hands of Jess Grace, who is supported by Mikey. The ball goes out wide to the backs. This time Kira Ryan runs it into contact. That is a mouthful. But the ball has been turned over to Richmond hands once again. Richmond does well to have a lovely backhand pass out. This time Charlotte Tweedle bringing them to the ground. And Thurrock seem to be taking notes from the Richmond tackles, driving backwards, but the ball once again finds it out wide. And there is an overlap there. Jess Bedford makes a lovely tackle, but unfortunately it is passed out once again to the wing. And that is put down right over the line by, I believe that is number 11. Yes, number 11, so the score was tried. The try was scored by number 11, Holly Williamson. Another brilliant full-team try. Just picking apart, seeing that Thurrock are not quite stretching themselves far enough on the wings, and just managing to run round after many hits into contact, finding a brick wall, that is Thurrock, and ultimately managing to try the score. I've done it again, try the score. I promise I wasn't drinking last night. Scored the try over the line in a perfect position for Richmond to take the conversion. Once again, a very quick kick. An easy kick for her straight over the sticks, bringing the game to 17-0 to Richmond. Oh, sorry, 19-0 to Richmond. And that was Courtney Treco once again with the conversion. Sam Wilmot for the Thurrock T-Birds, spurring them on from home, saying, "Come on, girls." Thank you, Pamela. I have never been sure to ask if it was Tweddle or Tweedle, so thank you for the correction. I will try to remember that from now on going forwards. Beautiful kick once again by Kira Ryan. This time passed out to Imo Duffy, who... Oh, is that Imo? Yep, maybe. Sorry, that may be Joe Bucknell, but I can't quite see the numbers. Richmond have got excellent passing and a beautiful dummy once again. She just breaks through. I think that is Kieran Berry, brought to the ground. Unfortunately, a bit of a bad offload, which has resulted in a forward pass and a knock-on. That is a massive shame. That was a beautiful line break by Kieran. Once again, we are setting up for another scrum, this time to Thurrock. No doubt Thurrock are itching to get out of their own half. Once again, the scrum is not quite solid and has resulted in a collapse. We appear to be taking our time setting up this scrum once again. I would love to tell you the mechanics of a scrum to say why it is collapsing, but unfortunately I am a back, so I'm not too sure. The ball seems to be in a mass of bodies, but the referee has seen a penalty for Thurrock. I believe he's saying that Richmond were not rolling away. So once again, Sophie Scanlon to take the kick. Lovely kick downfield, although Thurrock still unfortunately remain in their half on about their 10-metre line. And Westy looks very warm in her lovely big jacket. I'm jealous, I'm a bit cold right now. So it is once again a Thurrock line out, ball thrown in by Mikey Williams. Lovely throw to the hands of Amy Patel never mind. So that time I was about to say Courtney Cox. I don't know why I've got actresses' names in my head instead. Having a bit of a mare today. Got a commentator's block, it seems.
What happened there, Gab? Did the line out not straight?
Unfortunately, no. That was straight to the hands of Amy Patel. Richmond threw their player up at the very last minute, so unfortunately it did count as contested, which means it was not thrown straight by Thurrock and results in a Richmond scrum. Thurrock doing very well to drive Richmond back, but they are just a brick wall refusing to move. Richmond, a lovely dummy. Unfortunately, the ball goes a little bit wild, but they managed to recover very well. Although Thurrock are fighting, that is Hannah Thornhill fighting to get back the ball. Beautiful no-look pass to winger number 14, Rebecca Smart, once again. Ball pass out on that is a very unfortunate knock-on for Richmond. Thurrock once again regained possession of the ball. Ball is taken to Kaylee McHugh, who manages to just be brought to the ground by one leg, which I believe was done by Caitlin Keefe. Ball out to Sophie Scanlon, who passes to Polish. This time aided by Maddie Lockwood, who's straight over her. Richmond doing well to roll away as quickly as possible. This time taken into contact by Kira Ryan. Richmond are very quick to be over. Unfortunately, are brought back over their own side by Thurrock. Ball this time past Lauren Paul, who evades the tackle, attempts to get the ball out, but continues to push through anyway, gaining a mass amount of metres. And unfortunately, there does appear to be an injury, which is Kaylee McHugh. The referee has stopped the timer to take care of this injury. I believe it may just be a cramp in the calf or the hamstring, so hopefully it's nothing too significant.
Looks like Kaylee's back up and walking off, Gabs. So it may be more than just a cramp.
She appears to be walking off okay, but I believe they probably don't want to risk further injury, so that'll probably be Gemma Pemberton, our physio, taking a closer look to make sure she is absolutely fine. Yes, it does appear to be her calf.
Did you see who came on to replace her?
That is a very good question. It appears to be Megan Harris that has come onto the pitch in place of Kaylee McHugh. The Thurrock attack seemed to be quite evenly spread. Richmond seem a little unable to guess where to go, but it goes out to the left side, who then dodges back right again.
Well done, Kieran.
This time it is Jess Grace running straight into a contact. And a very lovely clear out by Maddie Lockwood, but it is Mikey Williams that has taken the ball through, although that was looking a bit suspiciously like another high tackle by Richmond. And Richmond appeared to be offside quite a bit here, but the referee is saying to play on. This time running into contact is Lauren Paul once again. who manages to get an offload to Frenchie, who once again manages to offload to Maddie Lockwood. The Richmond are just not rolling away here. Sophie ducks behind Jess Grace to manage to get a lovely kick downfield, but it does go straight to the hands of Richmond once again, who passes out to her teammate. Straight back to the hands of Gabby Spencer. Brought to the ground by Maddie Lockwood. Passed back inside to number 2, Kieran Berry. This time it is Thurrock struggling to roll away. And Frenchie decides to give it a go, see if she can get round. The ball is passed back very nicely to the hands of Richmond. Abby Jones is right on it. Beautiful tackle, and Richmond seems to just fall out of her hands. This time it's been turned over by Thurrock once again. This thing that was just stolen from the hands of Richmond. Back to the hands of Megan Harris, who runs into contact. And the referee seems to have seen a penalty to be awarded to Thurrock. And I think Richmond just wasn't quite sure what to do there, as there was no one to defend against her. Lovely, lovely evasion from Charlotte Tweddle. She's rocked over by Thurrock, a lovely pass out. Very wide to the hands of Jess Pettifor, who manages to offload very lovely to Hannah Thornhill. Beautiful kick downfield, straight into the space by Hannah Thornhill. She's straight on the attack, and Richmond seems to be unable to pick up the ball and decides to block Hannah Thornhill instead, which is not the most sportsmanlike way to have gone about that, but hey ho, the referee seems to have gone back to the earlier high tackle by Richmond. It's not great to see such a high number of high tackles in the first 25 minutes of a game, so hopefully that doesn't lead to a yellow card later down the line. Kicked by Sophie Scanlon, but it manages to find touch, bounce off the railings and come back into play. This will once again be a Thurrock line out. Beautiful throw by Mikey, straight to the hands of Thurrock, although they are fighting to maintain possession of it, although they need to release as Polish's hands are on the floor. Lovely ruck from Richmond, but the referee seems to have seen that they were off their feet. So Frenchie takes it in very quickly, but Thurrock are a little bit slower to get there, although Mikey manages to maintain possession. Although that looked like a very painful hit by Richmond. And unfortunately, Faye Cox has taken a large amount of it to the legs. Although she appears to be up and walking, so that is a good sign. The referee has once again awarded the penalty to Thurrock. This time kicked by Kira Ryan, but the punching of the ball by Richmond has managed to keep it in play.
Good decision, Cox.
Lovely kick downfield from Richmond, straight into touch. I think I was correct in my earlier observation that this is going to be a very tense game throughout. So we've got two very strong teams here playing today.
Contest.
It's a very far right, unfortunately, throw by Thurrock. I'm not sure if the wind just took that. And the referee has called for a scrum to Richmond. A lovely scrum once again from both sides. Gabby running it straight into contact. It's a beautiful break she's made. Richmond seem to be getting in their own way, unfortunately, but they're brought short by, I believe that was Kira Ryan. Lovely tackle once again. This time back to another kick. Lovely take by Faye Cox. Passed out to Jess Pettifor, who manages to see a gap. She goes straight for it, manages to evade the tackle, but is caught out short. Couldn't quite see who that was. I believe that was number 12, B. Leonard. Lovely tackle. Well, that may have actually been Angela Randazzo. This time taken into contact by Megan Harris, but once again Richmond are off their feet in the ruck. Ball goes back out to Kira Ryan, then to Jess Grace, who finds a lovely little gap there, but is just brought short. And Richmond have managed to turn over the ball and scramble to get into an attacking line. A mild bit of panic there from Kieran Berry, but she manages to recover nicely. Referee's once again in the way. And I think he's going to be in the way again. No, just manages to evade it. Lovely pass out back from Richmond. She sees the gap, she takes it. But it is managed to be grabbed by Hannah Thornhill, who just about manages to evade ripping it from the hands of Richmond. The ball goes back out wide once again. And the referee has seen a forward pass there, which was unfortunate to the hands of Sian Hobday. I don't think that was quite meant to go to her hands, but I think it was a last-minute decision, and unfortunately she was just in front of the play. Appears to be a change of players, so this time it is Jade Wong coming on the pitch for Sophie Scanlon. And she will be going to the number 10 position. Ball is put in by Faye Cox, and Richmond have got a very strong scrum. I don't quite know where the ball's gone. I don't think anyone else does, but the referee has called for a penalty to Richmond, although I believe Thurrock is saying that the Richmond scrum is not quite fair. But the ball is kicked very hastily and ends up in the hands of Faye Cox, who gives it to Jade Wong. Lovely high kick down back into Richmond half, and there's a slight bit of panic, but it is taken up by Rebecca Smart, who is tackled very nicely by Hannah Thornhill. Lovely hands to the hands of Sian Hobday. Very quick play from Richmond, which is excellent to see. Back to the hands of Kieran Berry once again. Richmond are very quick to get their line out as far as they can, but a flipping good tackle from Charlotte Tweddle. Sorry, I nearly swore on YouTube there. Another gap seen by Richmond, but the linesman has stuck up the flag to say that she is out of play. This is a very fast-paced game. I don't think my brain is quite keeping up with the game, let alone my commentary. Once again, this is a Thurrock line out, this time to the hands of Frenchie. A lovely dummy from Faye Cox. She manages to evade multiple Richmond shirts, but she's ultimately brought to the ground by, I think that could be Tess Brauner. Richmond have turned over the ball very nicely. Lovely backhand pass to the hands of Joe Bucknell. And Maria Nogles is having to dig for the ball in that ruck. Apologies, Richmond. Richmond are moving very quickly for me. Unfortunately, she just slips and dives back inside. Gabby once again with the ball, who's proving to be an absolute menace with that ball in hand. Ball is played out wide once again, but unfortunately he's just fumbled and knocked forwards by Richmond. So it will be a Thurrock penalty. Apologies, I appear to have forgotten to start the timer again, so now we are at 35 minutes and 30 seconds, so please bear that in mind when watching the time. And once again, Thurrock scrum in their own half. They've learned from the previous scrum, and Thurrock are quick to stay in their position. Kira makes a lovely pass out to Jade Wong, who passes out once again to, I can't quite see who that is, I believe that is number 13. Kira Ryan. I think Charlotte Tweddle and Kira Ryan have swapped shirts today, so thank you both for that. That's not unhelpful at all. This time taken into contact by Jess Grace once again, but brought to ground by Sian Hobday. And the referee has seen that, I believe, Thurrock were not releasing the ball, which has caused a penalty to Richmond. Another backhand pass. Richmond shoves over their own player. But a gap is seen by number 4, Imo Duffy. She makes a break for it, but is brought to the ground by Faye Cox. Thurrock does well to fill the field out to the right. The referee's just behind the line of play. Lovely tackle by Maddie Lockwood on, I was about to say Imo Duffy then, that was Gabby Spencer. Once again, another tackle from Maddie Lockwood. Passed out wide, and number 15, Courtney Treco, is looking for a gap, doesn't quite find one this time, and a beautiful ruck from Charlotte Tweddle, which has caused a knock-on by Richmond, and it will be a penalty to Thurrock. I believe after the intensity of the rest of this first half, Richmond may be starting to tire a little, but Thurrock seem to be spurred on by that scoreboard at the moment, not letting up for a second, which is always excellent to see, as that is the Thurrock way, it seems. I do believe Richmond seemed like they were pushing a little bit early with that one, especially with the back foot of Gabby Spencer. But the referee appears to have awarded the penalty to Richmond nonetheless. And it's taken very quickly by Maria Nobles, who manages to make a lovely line break, but is brought short by an excellent tackle from Jess Pettifor. And the referee has given the penalty to Thurrock for a knock-on by Richmond. There was a try-saving tackle from Jess Pettifor, and no doubt the girls will be thanking her for that. Thurrock no doubt wanting to get this scrum over and done with as quickly as possible so they can get the ball out to the backs and hopefully manage to kick it downfield, as this is quite the danger zone for them at the moment, as Richmond have continued to prove with their current line of score. Thurrock appeared to be shifting tactics, moving their players over to the far side, but Richmond are right there alongside them. Lovely pass out to the backs, which is a kick this time by Jess Pettifor, who is quick to run onto it, but is gathered up very nicely by Courtney Treco, and this time it is Hannah Thornhill bringing her to the ground, with Jess Pettifor attempting to ruck it off, but is stopped by Rebecca Smart. Lovely tackle was going to be made by Amy Patel there, but the ball was passed out just quick enough for her not to have the need. The referee this time is in the way of Thurrock trying to make the tackles. And a lovely pass out once again, although Thurrock need to push on that far side, as Abby Jones is calling them out. And, another lovely attempted breakthrough by Kieran Berry, but is brought short. A lovely pass out, but a beautiful tackle once again. Can't quite see who that was this time. I believe that was Kaylee McHugh, who, sorry, I did not know she'd come back on the pitch. Beautiful chop tackle from Amy Patel once again. Pass out that did look a little bit flat, potentially forwards to Gabby Spencer, but the referee has seen not a single problem with that. Lovely attempt at a 1-2 between Rebecca Smart and Courtney Treco, but unfortunately Thurrock have just managed to get their hands around the ball. Bit of a fumble from Richmond, but they recover with excellent speed and get it out to the far side once again, where it does go a bit wild and causing Kieran Berry to jump on the ball. Lovely dummy by B. Leonard, but ultimately brought to the ground by Mikey Williams. Passed out wide, another line seen by, I don't know if that's Caris Graham, I can't quite see the number on the back. The referee's seen something he's not happy with and is awarding an advantage to Richmond. The ball gets out wide to number 23, Angela Randazzo, who passes it back inside to 11, Holly Williamson, who runs straight for the line, but is brought short, but a beautiful back pass. It is a shame it caused a knock-on. The referee has brought it back for the advantage earlier anyway. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite see what it was for. And I don't know what that arm movement is, and I believe the advantage was a bit closer to the Richmond line, but the referee seems to be happy to take that there. It does appear that Richmond are going for the post. I'm just having a look to see what that actually was for.
Josh, can you hear Dave? Not now, no. He's talking to you.
Yes, I still can't quite see where the advantage came in here. But nevertheless, it was a lovely kick from Richmond, which brings the score to 22-0, and that is half-time, I believe. Of course, that is not the preferred start for Thurrock, but they aren't quite letting up with the strength of their tackles and the speed of their run. So hopefully the second half will be a brand new game for them and they'll be able to bring the score back. But nevertheless, that has been an excellent half from Richmond. Their passes have just been phenomenal throughout the entire first half, and it was a really well played piece of rugby from them. Of course, as always, we do have our shout outs. So once again, Charlotte, this time knowing to say it's Tweddle, her daughter Ava Jade. So hello if you're watching your mum play. And then of course we've got the Thornhills as always. We've got Kath, Keith, Alan and Mary. Hello once again. And then we've also got Margaret and Dan, and which is Holly Edgway's grandparents who always watch our Thurrock T-Birds play, and Mark's Grace and Sarah Jane's Grace. So thank you for always coming to support the T-Birds in person or via YouTube. Of course, any support we get is greatly appreciated. And if you'd like a shout out, please do contact your T-Bird of choice, or equally you can always comment on the YouTube and we'll get your name on there. But thank you for joining us, and we will see you in the second half. Hello and welcome back to the second half of Thurrock T-Birds versus Richmond Women's. Currently the score is 22-0 to Richmond, and we are just beginning the second half. And hello and thank you to Amy Shaw as well, who has messaged to say, "Come on Tees, stay strong, you've got this." So I believe she's actually listening to it more as a radio on the way home from Wales, so safe travels, Amy. Looks like Thurrock have had a number of changes, with Holly Edgway now on the pitch, as well as Elsie Burns. And I can't quite see who else has come on. Izzy Lush is also on the pitch now. And I think that's all the changes for Thurrock. Can't quite see anyone else that has changed. Unfortunately, Richmond, I can't quite see their numbers at the moment. Lovely kick-off from Richmond, right downfield to the hands of Holly Edgway, who runs in straight into contact. I think that is with number 11, Holly Williamson. Lovely tackle. Passed out this time to Kaylee McHugh, who drives through the tackle of Kieran Berry. The referee once again a little bit in the way, very much in the way. Lovely dummy from Mikey, but once again is a high tackle from Richmond, but I don't think the referee has quite seen it. This time Richmond are once again running straight into contact. Izzy Lush doing a phenomenal tackle to get Richmond to the ground. Richmond are once again going as wide as possible, trying to see if there's a gap outside, and they seem to have found one, attempted to do a pass out, but unfortunately hasn't quite got there. And they continue to keep driving through the driving through the tackle. Sorry, I'm not with it today. Richmond are just about to dive for the try, but the referee has seen that Richmond are off their feet in the ruck, so the penalty has been awarded to Thurrock, who are now no doubt wanting to kick straight out into touch, as far downfield as they can get. This is, I believe, Jade Wong taking the kick. Yes, this will be Jade Wong. Instead, Mikey Williams runs straight into contact. Faye passes it out to Kaylee McHugh, who runs into the arms of Caris Graham. This time Jade does manage to get the kick out. There's a lovely kick downfield straight into touch, and still in the Thurrock half.
Wait, hang on, stand by. Let's see what's like. Josh, what do you think?
This time a Richmond line out, Kira Berry throwing into the team. Lovely throw, not straight at all, but Thurrock don't put up anyone for a contest. Richmond do lovely hands and get it out to the backs, but unfortunately the ball does go to ground. Picked up very nicely though. Charlotte Tweddle not quite able to keep up with Holly Williamson. Thurrock scrambled to get Richmond back, although Thurrock managed to take the ball back. Sorry, that was brought down into contact by, I believe, Emma Mundy. Ball is kicked and goes into touch. Hello to Verity Lee, who's Faye's mum, who is watching from home and spurring on the T-Birds. So thank you very much, Verity, for watching. So it appears to be a Richmond injury at the moment, just in the centre of the pitch. It does look a bit painful. It appears to be a leg injury, and I believe she's coming off. I think that could be Caris Graham. It'll be a massive shame if it is. She's had a fantastic game today. She's clapped off the pitch by both teams and the supporters. Not too sure has come on in replacement of her. I believe it is, I think that is number 16. I believe that is Claudia Yu. Yes, I was correct. That is Caris Graham. Well done for today's game, Caris. Hopefully it's not too bad of an injury and you'll be back up and playing soon. A very long throw from Richmond, and they're very quick to form the maul and driving Thurrock backwards, but Thurrock managed to just put a doorstop in the way. There appears to be a little bit of confusion, but once again Kieran Berry breaks away, diving for the try line, but unfortunately it's brought short. Thurrock are unable to roll out the way. This time it's Jade Wong bringing Richmond to the ground. A gap seen once again by Richmond, but brought to the ground this time by Mikey Williams. Back inside to number 2 Kieran Berry, but Jess Grace bringing her to the floor. Back inside once again, I think that was Sian Hobday this time. And a dive over the top from Richmond. It's a very dangerous thing to do, but it seems to have paid off by Richmond. No broken bones or anything. And I do apologise, I can't quite see who that is. Hopefully I'll see the number in a second. Oh, that looks like number 9 scrum half Maria Nogles. Congratulations, that was a very daring try. Richmond are yelling for the tee. Richmond have continued as they mean to for the rest of the game by the looks of it, bringing the score to 27-0. And I believe that is Emma Mundy lining up the conversion. Oh, and just to bring back confusion from earlier, the advantage that I was a bit baffled on apparently from the referee was a lift in the tackle. Unfortunately, from my personal experience, that just tends to happen in rugby, so personally don't quite agree with it, but of course my opinion does not matter, as it is a referee's call ultimately. Beautiful kick from Emma Mundy, but unfortunately it's just left of the post, so just shies off the 2 extra points, bringing it, well, keeping the score at 27-0. Thank you to Annalise Curley for boosting my ego. I'm trying my best today, but I think the cold has got to my head and I can't seem to keep up with this speed of play. Ball is kicked by Jade Wong. Beautiful take from Richmond. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a number on her back, so I'm sorry, I can't give you credit for that excellent take. Once again, back to the hands of Kieran Berry, who manages to find another gap. Is running through, but is brought to the ground by a lovely tackle from Hannah Thornhill, who brings her short, but unfortunately that has left the far side open and exposed. But Thurrock do well to try and jump in the way of that, but once again it does appear to be Faye that's been taken down. And the referee has sent her off. And that is for a high tackle, although Thurrock haven't been the ones that have been prone to it this game. The referee appears to have been leaning more towards the Richmond side for that, so that is very, very unfortunate to see. So that does sadly mean Thurrock are down at a scrum half, so I believe Jade Wong will likely be stepping into that position. If not, it will be Izzy Lush. Luckily, a number of Thurrock players are quite diverse and able to step into any role needed, but that is a tremendous loss for Thurrock. Lovely throw in by Richmond, although unfortunately they appear to drop their own player. Apologies, that is Andy Yarrow shouting his support. And the referee has awarded the penalty to Thurrock, which is excellent to see. And I believe that was for not releasing the ball by Richmond. Oh. Lovely kick by Thurrock, just finds touch on the far side. Once again, this looks to be a Thurrock line out, thrown by Mikey Williams. Unfortunately, once again, it was not straight, and it will be a scrum for Richmond. It appears Richmond are making another change. And that is number 9, Maria Nobles, coming off the pitch. Once again, she's also had a brilliant game today. Unfortunately, I can't quite see the number. I believe that is number 18. I think that is Eleanor Hunt-Payne, who has come on the pitch at scrum half. Although equally that could be 19, and I do apologise, I cannot see it. I think that is 19, which would be Chloe Loying. Richmond have got the penalty. I believe that is another collapsed scrum. That does look quite painful for Kieran Berry on the floor. For whoever designs Richmond's kit, may I recommend a bold outline for the numbers, please? It would make my life a lot easier. Nevertheless, a lovely kick from Richmond into touch just before the Thurrock line, and no doubt putting Thurrock under pressure once again. Although there does appear to be an injury to Richmond, although from here it does look like a contact lens that has come out. So she's up and back running again. I think that is Sian Hobday. And thank you, Pamela. Hello to Auntie Gemma. Thank you very much. I'm happy you find my commentary so amusing. I would love to say I get paid for this, but sadly not. YouTube has yet to monetize us, but hopefully it won't be too long. Lovely line out by Richmond. A bit of confusion where the ball has gone as Richmond continue to drive where the ball is not. There's a lovely tackle once again from Maddie Lockwood. Thurrock pushes to fill the line for defence, but Sian comes down and scores yet another try this half for Richmond. I believe that brings it to 32-0 to Richmond. That was a lovely, lovely gap seen by Sian Hobday. So congratulations.
Big job, get off the line.
Although Richmond have scored, I do think that Thurrock have done well being a player down to manage to have fended off Richmond for as long as they have. There's another conversion kick. This time it has got the 2 points. The linesman, you couldn't quite see her on the screen. She was very happy, jumping up and down, waving her flag. I believe that was Emma Mundy. So the score is now up to 34-0 to Richmond. And we are about 53 minutes into the game, so still plenty of time for Thurrock to manage to turn this around, although Richmond, as expected, has continued with the same fire that they had in the first half. But Thurrock are doing well to fight back. And, hopefully the yellow card will be over as quickly as possible. Jade Wong lines up for the kick once again. Lovely kick downfield to the hands of number 19. Oh, apparently that is Claudia Yu. That must be a 16 then. Beautiful kick from Richmond downfield, straight to the 22, but lovely gather from Jess Pettifor, who evades not one, but two, but three tackles. But is ultimately brought to the ground, but number 11, Holly Williamson, unfortunately does come in at the side and realises what she's done and ducks out the way. This time it's Jess Grace driving through the tackle. With that is... Oh, can't quite see. Oh, that was very high from Kieran Berry, but the referee doesn't seem to have seen it. Although Kirsty Flynn is now on the pitch, who is currently there with Elsie Burns driving over. Lauren Paul steps in at scrum half to pass the ball out. Scrum half looks very good on her, straight to the hands of Izzy Lush. Although the referee has seen, unfortunately, that was a forward pass. I think Hannah Thornhill was just very keen and very quick. She struggles to slow her own feet down. Just trying to see if there have been any more changes to either teams. I don't believe there has, although I do see a number 20, so I think that might be Bluebell Nichols that has come onto the pitch for Richmond. A lovely scrum from both sides, just doesn't quite seem to move, but it's taken well by Richmond. Another pass back inside, which would have been well seen if Jade Wong wasn't there ready to take the hit. And she pushes through the ruck, and unfortunately Thurrock aren't quite quick enough to gather it, although this time it's Elsie Burns that fights her way through. And the referee has awarded the penalty to Thurrock. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure what for, but I won't be complaining about it. The referee has agreed that Charlotte's pass there was backwards, although number 7, Caitlin Keefe, wasn't quite moving away. This time it's Elsie Burns rushing through the tackle. This time Lauren Paul fighting her way through, although Gabby Spencer puts a stop to that very quickly. Lovely pass out to the wing, which is Hannah Thornhill, who finally gets a chance to kick her legs up, but she's taken out when the ball isn't even in her hands by Kieran Berry. That is just not fair. And she does appear to have injured Hannah, unfortunately. I hope the referee sees that, because that is just barbaric. The referee does appear to be saying something. I'm not quite sure what to, but Thurrock appeared to be voicing their opinion of it. And there's Jess Grace having a conversation. I believe he's called for time off. Although no yellow card seems to be being awarded, and Hannah Thornhill unfortunately is still on the floor. On a lighter note, at least thank you to Tash Good. Thank you for saying you've missed my commentary. Miss you very much. Need to go have some drinks soon.
Thanks, Tash. I can't do very well without Gabby, can I?
Sorry, he's a little bit butthurt that I'm getting so many compliments on this. Although you've only not heard Marco so much because I'm sat down currently. I can't be bothered to stand, to be honest with you. It's quite cold today.
Everybody thinks Gabby's got a good sense of humour. She gets it from me.
Give yourself the credit much. Once again, a lovely line out by Richmond. No contest by Thurrock. And the referee has seen that it wasn't thrown, either wasn't thrown straight or was a knock-on.
There's no wind today. I don't understand why they're not going straight. There's a few that have not gone straight now.
Well, we can't feel the winds. We are under a lovely cover here.
Thanks to her hardly moving.
This time we've got Emma West, or Westy, coming onto the pitch for Charlotte Tweddle, who once again has had a brilliant game. A lovely tackle early, although the referee decided to give a penalty for it, which I don't quite think any of us agreed with. But she's had a brilliant game nevertheless. So yes, Izzy Lush has stepped into the role of scrum half, and Richmond have seemed to push early, and the referee has finally seen it and has awarded the penalty. Although Richmond aren't quite 10 with those tackles, although I don't think the referee has seen that either. And this time it's Polish driving through the tackle. Jess Grace this time. Thurrock are really, really driving for that line. Elsie Burns, and unfortunately it is knocked on. The referee has awarded the penalty to Richmond. That marks the end of the yellow card for Faye Cox, so she is thankfully back onto the pitch and back in at scrum half, though Izzy Lush did a lovely job at stepping in. So Izzy moves back to the centres, and Westy comes in at the inside centre. A very strong scrum from Thurrock, that is well seen, but unfortunately somehow Gabby Spencer has ended up with a ball and is just jumping through these tackles. Was eventually brought down with the help of Elsie Burns and I believe that was Faye Cox. Richmond have appeared to have found a second wind in their sails, driving them forwards. Lovely kick downfield, I believe that was Emma Mundy. And it has gone into touch into the Thurrock half, just at the 10-metre line. And that is marked by Kira Ryan there as linesman. I completely agree, Lorna. I do think the referee is in need of some glasses, maybe some contact lenses or something. He does appear to be missing quite a bit, but maybe it's all the different colours bouncing around him. It can be hard to follow. Richmond appear to be making another change. Can't quite see the number or who has come on instead, but the ball has continued to play nevertheless. And Richmond are still in possession of it. Referee once again in the way. Oh, and just a slight fumble from Richmond, which causes a knock-on, although I don't know if the referee's actually given advantage, but Faye Cox nevertheless is weaving her way through the number of bodies in front of her.
He has raised his hand.
Okay, perfect. He has seen the advantage, which is good for Thurrock. Thurrock appeared to be driving to gain as many metres as possible. Maddie Lockwood this time running into contact, but is brought backwards by Richmond. The ball has gone to ground, but Westy has picked it up very nicely. Richmond are quick to get over the ruck, but Thurrock are just that little bit quicker. Faye does a lovely little dummy, decides to take it in herself anyway, gains some good metres, although Kieran Berry has taken the ball from her hands, and the referee decides to bring it back for the earlier infringement by Richmond.
So there's a Richmond player down on the far side, Gabby.
Oh yes, I didn't see it. Yes, it does appear to be a Richmond player down. I think that is a Thurrock player also down behind her too.
Oh yeah. Is that Kaylee?
Yes, it does look like Hayley, so it may be another cramp in the calf.
So Megan's getting ready to come on.
I believe both look like leg injuries. Kaylee McHugh is back up in bouncing to prove how well she is to play.
Who's that?
And I believe she's attempting to continue playing, doing some hop, skips and jumps just to test out the leg, but Megan Harris has now come onto the pitch and is unfortunately going back up off again.
Megan's just warming up the scrum cap.
I'm glad you find yourself very funny.
Big scrum! Come on, Richmond!
So once again, we are setting up for a scrum. We have 61.5 minutes on the clock. Once again, a strong push from Richmond, but Thurrock have learnt from their past and very quick to stick their heels into the ground. Lovely bit of passing from Thurrock, a bit of a high tackle from Richmond once again, but nevertheless, Thurrock powers on, just missing the hands of Jess Pettifor, and once again another high tackle from Richmond, but the referee has seen this one. This was once again Holly Williamson. The referee has awarded the advantage. Elsie Burns running into the contact, taken down by Gabby Spencer. Jade Wong to Jess Grace, lovely and well taken by Jess, a beautiful offload. And Richmond is quick to bring Thurrock to the ground, and Richmond are completely offside there, and is tackling Izzy Lush without the ball. I think Richmond's getting a bit desperate now, and the referee brings back for the earlier high tackle. Apologies if I seem biased, I don't like a bit of high tackling, and I don't like hitting people without the ball. Trying my best not to be biased here, but it is difficult.
5 minutes for Becky.
See the hit off the ball.
Yes, that was a hit on Izzy Lush, although she recovered very quickly.
Josh, Paris says that she can't do it, everything. Because obviously seeing them together.
Another lovely kick by Jade Wong downfield, just before the halfway line. I think the linesman is currently having more fun than anyone else on the pitch.
Definitely more fun than Thurrock.
But we're not going to be negative, we're going to be positive.
Looks like Megan's coming on now, Gary. And Lauren's going off.
Yes, that is possibly the end of Lauren Paul's game. I've been saying everyone's had a great game today, and I feel like everyone has. Elsie Burns quick to take the ball and begin them all. Richmond are a little bit slow to join in. Although Thurrock appeared to have collapsed a bit on this side, I think that could potentially be a head injury. But Kaylee is straight back up on her feet. Faye's quick to pass the ball out. Ball gets out to Westy, who sees a lovely gap, but once again, Gabby Spencer is just straight on that tackle. A lovely hand straight to the hands of Hannah Thornhill, who nearly got her chance to kick up her heels again, but unfortunately does go into touch on the far side. This time it appears to be Maddie Lockwood taking a knee for a second. Not quite sure what this is for. It looks like it may actually be a head injury for Maddie. I think there might be a little bit of blood there. Oh yeah, that looks like it might just be a knock to the face. Hopefully nothing too serious. Although then again, she seems to be looking at her phone, so maybe she should just be checking her makeup. I'm going to pay for that later.
She's not checking her makeup, she's checking her texts. WhatsApp and Instagram.
Reading how well she's doing. Although it could be a contact lens.
Oh yeah, it's possible.
Kaylee appears to be making friends. Hayley McHugh and Joe Bucknell, new fun little duo there. Though I don't think anyone's quite complaining about the nice little interlude, little break. Although it has caused me to run out of things to say.
On comes Amy with the magic bag.
roughly, I think, around 25 minutes left of the game now. Oh, sorry, 15. I can't count. Richmond have a lovely line out, pass it straight outfield. Beautiful run by Richmond. I really wish I knew your name to be able to give you the credit for that, but a lovely little dummy. But a beautiful tackle from Jess Bettiful. Abby Jones picks up the ball, runs it into contact. Maddie Lockwood is straight to her side. And someone appears to be calling for a high tackle once again. I'm not quite sure if they mean by Richmond or Thurrock there, but I don't think either side can quite complain, to be honest. The ball is out wide once again, this time to the hands of Polish. She passes out to Kirsty, and the ball just goes a bit wild there, but the referee has said it went backwards, so Thurrock maintained possession of the ball, although Richmond are quick to bring them to the ground. Maddie Lockwood running straight into contact again. This time Jade Wong to Elsie Burnsbow. Phenomenal tackle once again by Gabby Spencer. I'd be very shocked to see if she doesn't end up with a... Oh, okay, that was apparently a high tackle. So the referee has finally seen that Richmond has been doing that, but I will admit it is unfortunate it was Gabby Spencer to be sent off the pitch. She's had a phenomenal game, and that may mean she only gets 4 minutes left of the game. Lovely kick from Jade Wong downfield, just dropped by the hands of Courtney Treco. The referee is blowing the whistle, I believe for the knock-on by number 15 there. Yes, he is called for the knock-on. I believe this is Chloe Long. Apologies, not great with these names. This will be a Thurrock scrum. Apologies for the black line down the screen, that is the camera of Richmond. Thurrock have an excellently strong scrum, although the ball just goes over the head of Jade Wong, but Izzy Lush does well to clear it up. Faye goes back inside, picked up by Holly Edgeway. Unfortunately, it's caused a knock-on from the bit of a panicked ball. The referee has awarded the penalty to Richmond. Faye Cox has come off the pitch, which has put Izzy Lush in at scrum half, and Sophie Scanlon has come back onto the pitch at outside centre. Very strong scrum from Thurrock, does put a lot of pressure on Richmond, but the ball goes out wide. Lovely clean passes from Richmond straight to the hands, and a little breakthrough, well gathered by Richmond. She continues to run towards the line, but unfortunately the ball does go to ground. Richmond are quick to clear it up though. And this time I believe that was Kirsty. Yes, it was. Kirsty Flynn that has brought them to ground. Richmond are quick to play the ball. A lovely little offload from Richmond. And that is Jo Bucknell that has scored another try for Richmond this game, bringing it 39-0 to Richmond. Emma Mundy lines up for the kick. Another lovely kick just inside the post, bringing it to 41-0 to Richmond. With 9 minutes left on the clock, I'm sure Thurrock are striving to get some points on the board. So Richmond have been very dominant this game with their handling, their tackles and their scrums, although Thurrock have done very well equally, as just unfortunately not been able to get the points on the board. As I say that, Richmond unfortunately does knock on the ball, awarding the penalty to Thurrock. Once again, Richmond return with their strong scrum from earlier in the game, but Holly Edgway ends up with the ball, who passes it out to Izzy Lush, who passes it out to Jess Pettifor, who runs into the contact with absolute speed. A lovely, lovely ruck from Izzy Lush there. This time Maddie Lockwood runs into contact. Richmond don't quite release from the tackle. The ball goes out wide to Jess Grace, who continues to gain the metres, running through the Richmond defence. The ball continues out left, a lovely chip from Jade Wong, straight into space. And Richmond manages to knock it back. It goes to the hands of Hannah Thornhill, and they score their first try of the game. It's an excellently seen option from Jade Wong, leading to a lovely try from Hannah Thornhill. It's very well deserved from Thurrock. So that does bring the score to 41-5 to Thurrock to Richmond. And I believe this will be Sophie Scanlon lining up for the conversion. I'm sure the Thurrock goes quite ecstatic with that try scored.
Sure, they'd be more ecstatic with 7 or 8 more.
Stop being a negative Nancy.
Calling me a Nancy.
Lovely long field kick from Sophie Scanlon, but unfortunately doesn't quite make the sticks. So the score remains at 41-5. Though I do think the Richmond linesman is very excited to be holding that flag today. She's really enjoying herself. So this time, for the second time this game, Richmond line up for the drop kick. And this time into the hands of Holly Edgway, who takes it very nicely, passes it out to old-time teammate Jess Grace, who passes it out of the tackle to Polish. This time to the hands of Kaylee McHugh, who continues to drive through the gap. I believe Richmond are feeling the loss of Gabby Spencer, unfortunately. And once again round the neck by Richmond. This is just becoming quite a bad habit at this point in the game. Jade Wong runs into contact herself, with Maddie Lockwood taking on the position of 9. And Kieran Berry attempts to take the turnover and manages to get it out, although Richmond kicks straight back into the hands of Thurrock. It is gathered up by Hannah Thornhill, who does a cheeky little goose step, runs round 4 different players and is eventually taken down by Richmond. The ball is passed back to Jade Wong, who kicks it straight out of touch just before the 22-metre line. And there is around 5.5 minutes left on the timer. So no doubt this is going to be a very tense end to the game. Richmond set for the line out. Once again, this time goes to the hands of Thurrock. Holly Edgway gains as many metres as she possibly can. The ref jumps out of the way. Jade Wong once again, a beautiful kick downfield. This time back to the hands of Courtney Treco once again. But Emma Mundy seems to have been able to kick her heels up and has gained back a number of metres in ground. Ball goes out to Kieran Berry. And, Richmond continue to run through the pack of Thurrock players. Beautiful tip from Richmond there. Richmond ship it to Joe Bucknell again. Lovely depth of the Richmond attack. Although they appear to have gone a little bit flat now. They've taken the option to go on the blind side, but the ball is gathered up by Sophie Scanlon, and once again that is another high tackle from Richmond. But once again I don't think the referee has seen it. But Kaylee McHugh nevertheless continues to gain ground. Ball goes back to Jade Wong once again, and once again kicks the ball. Back to the hands of Courtney Treco, who's lucky not to get the ball to the face just then. And Emma Mundy tries to dummy Jess Pettifor, but she's a bit quicker than that. Kaylee McHugh dives on the ball, does a little roly-poly, and unfortunately the referee says that Kaylee McHugh is holding on to the ball. The ball is kicked into touch by Richmond. It appears Gabby Spencer is back on for the final 2 or so minutes left of the game. Richmond throws into the line out, but this time Maddie Lockwood ends up with the ball. And Joe Bucknell rips it right off her and goes striding for the try line. Thurrock are quick to fill in the gaps. Stopping Richmond just short once again. I believe that is Elsie Burns attempting to grapple for the ball. But Richmond find a gap in the last 2 minutes and score yet another try. Can't quite see the number on the back. Please turn around so I can give you the credit for that try. I believe that could be number 20, Bluebell Nichols. And, Richmond lines up for another conversion this game, which will likely mark the end of the game with less than a minute left. So currently the score sits at 46-5 to Richmond. Because Emma Mundy is going to try and make that 48-5, and with the positioning of the ball relatively to the centre of the pitch, I believe she may make it. Thurrock chase down the ball, but it does nothing to deter Emma at all, as she scores the last 2 points of the game, which leaves it at 48-5 to Richmond. Congratulations, Richmond. That was a brilliant game of rugby. It's unfortunate for the Thurrock side, but It was a well-deserved game. We will be seeing Richmond again, this time at the Thurrock home ground, but that won't be until next year now, on the 12th of January. Yes, this is our commentators box today. Looks a lot more professional for once, instead of us just standing on a random plank of wood. But unfortunately, the Thurrock side do have a week off next Sunday, so we will be back with you on the 27th for the Thurrock second team playing the Papa John's Cup, which I believe will be against East London. I'm not too sure if that is home or away yet. And the first team will be against Henley at home. Next Saturday we do have the Thurrock men's team versus the old I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Regations, there we go, thank you very much. And that should also be at home, and they will also have Sid Cup away on the 26th of October. But once again, congratulations to the girls. There are a number of names that I've said today. Without a doubt, Kieran Berry and Gabby Spencer have really stood out for the Richmond side. For Thurrock, I think that has been quite an equal game for everyone. I don't think I'd be able to pick the best player there today. Marco agrees with me, shaking his head. But all in all, it was a fantastic day for rugby, and both sides should be very proud, no matter the result. And yeah, I believe we will see you, well, we'll see you next Saturday for the men's team, and we will see you the week after for the women's. So thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.